viewers. Tonight we are here to discuss about international market. And in this episode, I have some guests with me who are going to join me and then have those discussions. So let me use this opportunity to introduce my guests. From my right, we have...
I'm Dorothy.
Godfrey.
Juliet.
All right, thank you very much for joining me. So we are going to look at international marketing research. Okay, so that means that it is very, very important as marketers to engage ourselves in research.
Yes.
And that is the main reason why we are gathered here this evening. So we are going to use the opportunity to discuss with our viewers about the challenges involved and probably some of the benefits from international marketing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so before I move on, I didn't introduce myself, so let me give my viewers this opportunity. I am Kobe Brony. So if you see me anywhere, you just call me Kobe Brony. All right. So now we know that marketing has a lot of advantages, but I want us to look at the disadvantage, because most of the time when marketers go international, they face certain challenges, and it is important that we let our viewers know, understand, and learn from it so that when they get there, they know what to do. So let me use this opportunity to invite Madam Dorothy to give us some of the challenges involved in international marketing research.
Okay, thank you for the question. As an international student, doing international marketing research is very important. And I know with everything that has an advantage has a disadvantage. Some of the challenges of international marketing research would be data comparability. But what do you mean by data comparability? Sometimes sampling data and gathering data from different views can be challenging, because the data that we gather here will be different from data that will be gathered outside. So it becomes a challenge for us. Thank you.
So in a nutshell, what you're trying to tell us is that in terms of data gathering, when you compare, there are some differences.
Yes.
It's always not the same.
Yes.
So as marketers, we must be careful when we are gathering these data so that we can be able to identify the exact issues and then organize ourselves in order to deal with them. Okay, that's very good. Yes, Mr. Godfrey.
Yeah, she talked about data and collecting data. Now, with all those things too, collecting all those data, you have to consider the ethics of that country you are doing your research in. For example, Nestle worldwide, when they were introducing their baby formula in India, they had ethical problems because they didn't go into the local parts and ask them about what they do with their babies and all of that. So when they introduced their products on their market, all their babies and other problems arise, and they have a lot of problems.
I think that particular issue,
research very important in
everything. I think in some parts of Africa, Nigeria and some parts, they also had that issue with their product, and as a result, some babies die. So I think the ethical aspect of marketing research, that is internationally, it is very, very important to consider that. My very good friend, can you please give us any other challenges that?
Okay, so I'll talk about the cultural differences. So before you go to a country to market your product or something like that, you have to first of all know their likes and dislikes, what they don't like. You have to do more research and understand their culture very well before you can move into sales, so that you don't go astray or something.
Okay. So that is the cultural differences. There's this joke that I heard some time ago. There was this businessman who wanted to do business in pork. And then he saw a market in some of these Islamic nations. And we know in these countries, you can't, it's a forbidden, it's a taboo. All right. So without doing the research, this businessman went into that market, and at the end of the day, he did not only lose his business, I think he was even sentenced, because it is something that is not like at all, they don't like, it's a taboo. So I think that aspect of marketing research is very, very important. Marketers must take notice of some of these challenges and then make sure that they are able to come up with programs, or let's say ideas, strategies in order to deal with some of these challenges. That's very good. Do you have any other challenges?
Yeah, we can also talk about sampling and representation. Sometimes the way we represent the data that we've collected, it doesn't go up, because the data being collected, let's assume the data collected in the USA is going to be different from data collected from Ghana. Because they are going to maybe use technologies and we are going to use maybe face-to-face to collect. So sometimes the input and the representation doesn't make it equal, bringing these differences in our markets.
Okay. That's good. Yes. Any other?
Yeah, with me too. With research, you have to also look at the country's rapid market changes, because you can't just go and say you are doing a research in the United States and say this is how their market is. They usually change their market in maybe 5 or 10 years. It's a very big country with different states with different rules. So you have to study and go through all these states and look at how their market adapts to other products and other things to know what you are bringing into them. So let's say, for instance, you are trying to put your product in New York. The approach you want to put your market in New York, you can't use that same approach in Miami or Florida. You understand? So you have to look at all these things and do this.
All right.
So I'll talk about the language barrier.
Okay.
So language differences is kind of complicated. So I think the companies should let their surveys.
The language is talking about, here in different countries we have language barriers in everywhere. One of the most important thing to do as a researcher is to take up translators to help you and to guide you in doing research in all these countries, because you can't just take your phone and say you are going through every state or every country and say when somebody talks you translate. You have to get someone in the country who will take you through everywhere so that you get your research board.
Okay, so guys, have you noticed this? It is easy for Ghanaians to do business with Nigerians.
Yes.
But it's very difficult for Ghanaians to do business with their immediate neighbors. Have you realized that?
Yes.
And I think the language barrier is the issue.
Yes.
Because with our neighbors, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, Togo, they are all Francophone countries, right?
Yeah.
So you realize that it is difficult for Ghanaians because we are not into the French stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's easy for Ghanaians to do business with Nigerians. But guys, I think with the introduction of this African Free Trade Center stuff, is going to play a major role in transforming the economies in Africa. And I think as marketers of businesses, of firms, there's a need for us to identify these challenges, develop strategies in order to overcome those challenges. If not, then this African free trade will be useless. Until we identify some of these things through international research, we can be able to develop strategies and overcome these challenges. Wow, I think that is very, very insightful. Viewers, I think this thing must be taken into consideration, especially with marketers. Those of us who want to engage in international marketing or international businesses, it is important that we take these challenges into consideration, find strategies, and then be able to overcome the challenges. Well, guys, it's been awesome having you. And I hope when I call you in our next episode, you make yourself available. And viewers, thank you very much for the opportunity to come to your homes, to your offices, to your workplace, to have this interaction with you. Please like our page and make sure you also follow us. This episode was brought to you by CORELL Packaging. They helped us in supporting our content. So we want to say a very big thank you to CORELL Packaging. So if you want to know about CORELL Packaging, they are into paper packaging. All right, so you can get their number from the page and then you call them. Then also we have CrossCulturalMarketing hair, right?
Yes. We have Kurlynatural hair. We are into wigging services, the sale of wig bags, wig stands, and hair serums. So if you want every wigging services, you can contact me on 0245292242 and I'll give you a lovely service. You get goodies after every service.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So with our supporters, we are going to leave their numbers so that you can call them whenever you need them. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.